Hi, I'm Loryan Strant and welcome to another episode of 365 Unplugged, and I'm joined as ever by the vivacious
Alistair Pugin.
All right, and today we've got, as always, a couple of topics to talk about. Al, what was yours that you wanted to kind of put on the floor?
It's gone from there to there. 5,000, 5,000. Because this is 5,000. And everyone should know what we're talking about. 5,000 connections in Teams.
Yeah. Is it too much? Will it kill Yammer? Will it kill email? Let's add to the noise of that conversation.
And before you talk about yours, Loryan, I would like to thank you, our fearless leader. What happened?
Waiting.
It's my
oh,
Yammer
yes.
specs.
The Loryan switch in Yammer.
The Loryan switch in Yammer. It's real. Can we say that? Can we say that? Have you got official approval that it's real?
Well, yeah, I've been told it's being rolled out.
Okay.
I don't know if it's called the Loryan switch in code. It might just be the internal reference. For those who aren't aware, what it is I've been campaigning Yammer team pretty hard when they turn on animated GIFs to give people the option to turn them off, much like we do in Teams. Anybody who knows me well enough knows that I love animated GIFs. It's more that certain organizations, when they were new to Yammer, didn't want GIFs. But you know what? We've got an entire previous episode on this, so go back and watch that one. Anyway,
just on that. Wait. Before you get to yours, just on that. It's taken one man to move a mountain. One man. It's taking 17,000 votes for Microsoft to say that they're actually actioning private channels. One man, 17,000.
I can't take credit for it. There's a certain level of annoyance.
All right, what was your thing? What do you want to talk about?
So mine is I'm putting forward the preposition to the court that To Do may be the single most important app inside of Office 365. Pretty big contention. So we're going to do, instead of paper, rock, scissors, we're going to try a coin, an Australian 50-cent coin. I'll go heads for my topic, tails for you.
Yeah,
good with that? Tails. All right, I'm not really good at flipping, but I'll definitely be able to get it turning over. Heads it is. Now, we're going to try this.
I would like a recount. It's okay. So what are we talking about?
On film. So we're talking about To Do being the single most important app. Now we're going to set a counter because I've got a meeting soon and I've got a kid to look after. Hey, Google, set a timer for 10 minutes. Take note, Cortana. She's sitting right next to her, so they can have a chat later. All right, so To Do. So my point with why To Do is the single most app inside of Office 365. Now, if anyone read my blog, when To Do was first launched, I was a little bit critical of it, mainly because technically there was a few bits that were balked when it was made available. And really, as it was supposed to be built as a kind of replacement to Wunderlist, which Microsoft bought for, I think, like $100 million a few years ago, it was drastically short in features. So I was rather critical of it. Over time, I've come to love it. As more features have been added, and as you can see, it's doing more and more. Why do I think it's the most important app inside of Office 365? I'm going to be a little bit blunt here. We talk about collaboration. We talk about teamwork. Teamwork's the new buzz at the moment. The reality is most people can't organize themselves. When I speak to users in organizations and I ask them, how do you manage your tasks? I hear answers like, oh, it's in my head. What's ever in my inbox? What's in Post-it notes? What's in Notepad? What's in OneNote? But using the checkbox in OneNote, not necessarily Outlook tasks. Occasionally somebody says Outlook tasks. So the thing is, we've got all this stuff going around. Like we sit in meetings. Yeah, sure, I'll go do that. And then I've got to wait for the minutes to come out for me to then go and action that. So I think that To Do is, I wouldn't say forever the single most important app. It's right now, it's the most important app that should be deployed first after your mailbox is migrated. before we get into all the sharing, is basically sort your crap out, end user. Manage your own tasks. Become a more effective individual before we start looking at teamwork. Your thoughts?
It's the app with the least amount of features in the world.
No, tons of features.
So it says my day, important, planned, and tasks, right?
So I'm assuming you use it?
Well, hold on. Toilet paper, cereal, bread, biscuits, Mybulin, chicken pieces, and cold meat. And I used that more than a year ago. And that's the total sum of my excitement. But didn't you say there was an Easter egg in this thing? Or what was that thing that you talked about?
Well, it's not an Easter egg in my favor. So I love the Seattle Space Needle, as you can see from my art behind me. There's an Easter egg that goes against me, which is whether you're using the dark theme on Windows 10 and you set it to be the Seattle Space Needle, you actually get the Berlin Tower. A lovely little in-joke from the developers.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, look, I've made a pretty big assertion there, Al. You seem nonchalant about it. You agree, or?
I'm dismissive of it. So does it integrate into anything? Let's start there. All right.
Okay, so firstly, it is Outlook Tasks. It's basically an app version of Outlook Tasks.
Okay.
So whatever you're looking at in Outlook Tasks is also in To Do, and vice versa. So you update a task in one area, it updates in the other. Create a task
so now
list.
You've taken people back to living in Outlook.
No, we're taking them away from living in Outlook because a lot of people don't use Outlook Tasks. So now you can use the app.
But what else does it integrate? I'm not impressed.
Oh, harsh. Look, I'm not going to sit here and list off features because, hey, we've only got 10 minutes. But there will be To Do integration. Planner integration. So any of your tasks in Planner will show up in To Do.
So that is magic. All right.
It integrates.
What about SharePoint tasks?
I'd hope that comes at a later point. If people still use that, to be honest.
What about Flow?
Yeah, it integrates with Flow.
So can I create a task from a process that I built in Flow and have it appear in their To Do?
I don't know, because that's relying on the Outlook API to expose tasks, which I think Outlook hasn't done yet. But actually, To Do has its own calls inside of Flow, so it's quite possible. The reality is, putting automation aside, though, I'm kind of positioning it as a savior for the individual end user to manage their tasks. Because one of the things I do is kind of ask in workshops I run, who here has, ever emailed themselves at night something to do in the morning? Like, yes, great. Well, why don't you just open the To Do app, create a new task, stick a deadline for tomorrow, and actually put things like steps in there. So you can put subtasks in. You can put your notes, and you can also sync attachments. So I can be taking a photo of something on my phone, and instead of emailing that picture to myself, I can take a photo with my phone and then get back to my desk, and it's there sitting in the app as well. So I can access it on mobile, desktop, web. You can put little pictures next to your task lists and those kind of things and make it a bit more entertaining. I think to your question before about integrations, because it's Outlook tasks under the hood, effectively, if you're in OneNote and you create an Outlook task, then it's actually creating it in To Do.
Did you just make the inner outer loop wheel bigger?
No, this is individual. There's no loops here. There's you and only you. That's it. How do you manage your work, Al? How do you manage what you've got on?
I don't. I'm either not started or not finished.
Case closed. I need a gavel.
I don't. I struggle. I think every person struggles with that.
Exactly. And that's my point.
I'm just not enamored by the product. There's nothing sexy about the product. Nothing sexy.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be sexy.
In my world. In my world, I can write down on a piece of paper, right, in a little.
Exactly. Mold. And where's that piece of paper when you've moved somewhere else? Your phone is always with you. The cloud is always with you.
So I'm a bit old school like that. I've got a bunch of Post-it notes and I write my grocery list on that. And before I leave, I take a picture of it and then I go to the store with it.
Here's how I work with my wife. We have a shared list in To Do, because you can actually share lists with other people. And we put all our tasks, all our grocery items in there. And often what will happen is I'll be at the supermarket or vice versa, and items will appear because cloud.
But that's the great thing, right? And I think that is really where the messaging is. It is a personal productivity app.
Yes. But that's the thing, is all the talk right now is around teamwork and group collaboration. But we as individual contributors, we as team members, in all honesty, unless you are hyper organized to the point where you're a control freak, ding, a bit like me, that's the thing, is people don't get their own work done. They're not across everything they do. They have to remember things. Yes, some people are better at it than others, but that's what I'm saying, is To Do is, before changing how my team works, improve how I work. Give me the ability to just do that.
Having said that, why you've got your assistants in the background there, why aren't you just telling Alexa, Cortana, or hey Google, add something to your list?
Well, I used to be able to do that when I used Wunderlist. That functionality is coming to Do at some point. I think someone's actually built a skill that can do it, but it's pretty rudimentary. But,
I think that would be great.
Not everybody has these at their desk, especially in like an office environment.
Yeah, but you can have it on your phone, right?
Yeah, but I think
so. To do 2.0 with Cortana integration, they might be able to sell Cortana as a functional application then.
Yeah,
not a failing Bluetooth speaker.
That's a topic for another time, which we've actually already covered to a point. I think the thing is, yes, I can ask this device here to remember a task for me, but what if there's multiple steps? What if there's descriptions? So a lot of the times when I'm thinking of an idea, like a meeting invite, we don't just want it to be a single line. We actually want to add context to what I'm thinking.
It's starting to make sense. I'm not a believer yet, but I'm 98% there. So sitting in a meeting, adding a task, or having an idea and being able to ideate immediately there. And because it's a task, there's a reminder. It will tell you, you wake up the next morning, hey, you know what it's like they say, well, always have a notepad next to your bed. If you dream, you jot it down. And I suppose this is your personal notepad for everything that you want to achieve.
That's how I look at it. Is OneNote for me is where I dump my brain, my thoughts, my concepts and those kind of things, and my notes. Whereas To Do is where I drop all the ideas of actions that I've got. Like, oh, yes, that's a great idea. I've got to look that up. Instead of emailing myself, I just stick it straight into Do. There are integrations at the OS level with mobile phones where you can send things to Do as well. So, for example, I can be looking at a web page and I can go, yep, share it with To Do. So there's a lot of things like that. One of the things that is also quite useful is there's a My Day kind of ideas button. So, which is basically this little light bulb where if you've got nothing on for my day and that's a little bit rude.
Is that it? Are we done?
That's it. Hey, Google, stop. I'll finish the last point is you basically can look at your calendar and go, hey, I've got no meetings on, no work scheduled. Let me just go idea button. And it looks at basically your tasks that you've had on or that have been sitting there for so long and suggests them to you.
Ooh, look at that. Roll on Nosh bars bread. That's the suggestion for me. Cool drinks soda stream. Wow.
Maybe try using it for a work context, not not just.
I will commit to you on pre-recorded TV that I will try this out tomorrow.
And I think that's for everybody who's watching this as well. Give yourself a go with To Do. I guess that's the thing is we don't want this show to be a endorsement of products kind of thing. But in all honesty, when I've shown it to people, they light up. And I've very much become of the opinion that, as I said before, after migrating to Exchange, give people To Do before looking at how to change their social structures and their collaboration and their content management and their communication. Before bring them into all this change that you're about to do, my view kind of is give them this tool, let them win individually, because the reality is if you actually help them win individually without forcing a change upon them, they'll actually be more interested in then moving to things like Planner or other tools you've got. It's like, oh, wow, this one tool really helped me in my day. What else have you got? What else can I do? Show me this forms. Show me flow. That'll be the end.
Okay, so you heard it here first. After Exchange, the next workload to move to the cloud is to do.
Well, technically, it's the same workload. It's just an app. Deploy it. Give people access to it. If you're not on Windows 10, they can use the mobile app. They can use the web browser.
Well, look, I was going to sell it as deploying. We're migrating all your thoughts and processes to do. You don't have to tell us where it is. We will know where it is. We're just going to charge you, and we're going to switch it on, and we make money. So it's a migrating of a process to do. I'm going to sell this stuff. I'm going to sell it. Exchange and then to do before Teams. To do before Teams.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Is that consumer advice?
I'd be curious to see what people think on the comments. Do they think To Do should be the first app deployed after mailboxes? You know, is it the most important app for the individual?
I want to know what people think about To Do.
Yep.
Like I approached this entire conversation with you today.
All right. Well, next time we'll talk about 10,000 users in Teams. Oh, no.
Or where GIFs are actually now officially turned off in Yammer.
Oh, the Loryan switch.
The Loryan switch. All right.
All right.
Is that it?
Bye, everybody.
Just cheers. Bye.